Hello and welcome back to the Conquering Codependency mini course. I hope you're learning a lot about yourself through this process. And also, if you haven't had a chance yet, feel free to check out our podcast episode number 1, where my sister Jennifer and I discuss what it was like for her to recognize her codependency in a bad relationship and begin a real recovery. You can find that at codependencynomore.com/session1, or there's a link to it below this video. Last time, we took a peek at how codependency can lead to harmful or even downright abusive relationships. Now, let's look at some ways to refresh our relationships and make sure we're setting healthy and appropriate boundaries. Oh, and by the way, in surveying our audience, the number one topic of interest among you is just that: how to set healthy boundaries. Relationships are essential to our lives. We're connected to one another through relationship. So how do we balance our relationships without stretching ourselves too thin? And the answer, of course, is boundaries. The ultimate goal is to maintain our side of a relationship by setting up our own personal space. And our ability to do this dictates how fulfilled we are in our relationships. Communication skills and relationship with self are two very integral parts of this process. We need to know ourselves well enough to know where we stand. And we need to be able to express ourselves to the people around us to help them understand us. Again, the key is to find a healthy balance of you, me, and ultimately us. And these next illustrations will help demonstrate some different kinds of balance in relationships. An extremely independent relationship might look something like this. You and me are completely separate. Frankly, this isn't much of a relationship at all. We're so distant that there's probably not much, if any, intimacy, and this relationship probably won't last long if we don't come together in some way. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, a codependent relationship involves me being so wrapped up in you that my identity seems to come only from what you think of me or how you approve of me. This also isn't much of a relationship. It's extremely unfair to me, and it's actually really unfair to you, because even if I don't realize it, I'm actually giving you a ton of responsibility. Responsibility for my self-esteem, and that's not something you should be responsible for. So, back to a scenario with healthy balance. This scenario is best for everyone, because both you and me have separate identities, but we also share trust and intimacy with one another. No one is completely dependent on the other, but we both have a stake in the relationship. Breaking out of codependent habits can be tough. We must establish a new, healthier balance. And while practicing this balance, our effectiveness in expressing ourselves can often be challenged. Some common thoughts that might arise include, they'll be mad at me if I say no. Or, if I ask for help, it'll show my weakness. Or, I should be willing to sacrifice my own needs to help others. A lot more thoughts might creep into your mind as you begin to challenge yourself. And we encourage you to challenge these statements with healthier statements, like, it's my right to say no. Saying no will keep me safe. Or, if I never ask for help, I'll never get it. People can't read my mind. Or, if my needs aren't met, I'll be in no condition to help others. Think of it like this. An oxygen mask drops down as a plane is crashing. You're instructed to put on your mask first. If you can't breathe, how can you help someone else breathe? You can't give away something you don't already possess. So begin to practice saying no to the things you don't really want to do. Let yourself feel the guilt or whatever other emotion comes up when you make your decisions, and then just let that negative emotion go. Start to practice setting healthy new boundaries and getting used to them. In our next lesson, we'll elaborate a bit more on setting boundaries as we discuss finding your personal space. And again, if you want to skip ahead and see all 8 of our mini course lessons in one place and get a bonus copy of our 70-page ebook called Codependency 101, Basics of Addiction, Grief, and Recovery, there's a link right below this video that will show you how to do all that. Otherwise, we hope you enjoyed this lesson, and we'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning.